turnout, but thank you all for being here. I don't want to start off on a bad note, but I do want to say this, that I'm disappointed how this news broke, because I owe it to the respect of my staff, my players, to be able to tell them in person. And so I'm a little bit disappointed how all this came out. But now that I have that off my chest, we'll move forward. It's with a heavy heart, and there's no pun intended with that, but I'm announcing today that I need to step down as the head coach here. I've had some recent medical situations and concerns that really has been going through since mid-season, and had a procedure a couple weeks ago where I was struggling a little bit and went into the hospital and had to get shocked back into the rhythm a couple times, and so that was pretty scary. Since then, I've had a chance to consult with physicians and have been counseled that right away I need to have another procedure done, and I will be going to the Mayo Clinic to have that done. You know, it's I've been coaching for 30 years, and it's been awesome. I've been playing football since I was 8, so I've been in this business since I was, or for 50 years. Okay, and so it's time now to focus on my health and my family. You know, family being an important part for sure. My health is there where, you know, things have happened over the last little while with some people around that have really kind of opened my eyes to how important the one go-round you get with this life is. And while I appreciate football and everything that it's brought to me, all the relationships with players, coaches, community, all that, I've been advised that the stresses and anxiety of this job, this does not match up well with some of my cardiac issues. So I'm very thankful for the last 3 years to be able to come back to my alma mater and to be connected with the university, the players, the coaches, the great Fresno community, which I've always loved and hold near and dear. A lot of friends here, a lot of friendships here that have lasted many, many years. And so Don and I plan on continuing to be in Fresno and continue a relationship with the university and do whatever I can to play a role in helping us be successful and move forward. I want to thank President Castro for believing in me 3 years ago to give me this great opportunity to come back here. I feel like it's been a great experience. We've accomplished a lot, and I understand that this last year wasn't exactly what we expected, but I do feel very strongly that the cupboard is full and it's ready to compete right away to be back at the championship level. I'm very proud of that and my staff because it's a team effort. The whole administration and all the support that we've been given here to help us achieve some of the things that we've achieved. The future is bright, and I also want to say how proud I am of the academic success that we've had, because at the end of the day, what our job is to make sure that that we have these kids reach their full potential and have a great college experience academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. And we've worked very hard to do that. Our kids have had a lot of academic success, which we're very, very proud of. And I believe they've done it with class and integrity, which is really important. I think they've been great representatives of our program and for this university. Fresno State is a very well-respected place, program. And I'm sure there's going to be many quality candidates that will want to be here. The pride and tradition of Bulldog football was strong well before I got here. Well, I got here a long time ago. I got here in It kind of, I guess that's when it, started for me, but it's been here a long time before I got here as a head coach, and I'm sure it will continue in the future because of the values that this university represents. We're in great hands with the leadership of Terry Toomey, and I feel confident that he will choose someone, or whoever takes over this position will hold those same values near and dear to their heart about making sure that academics and athletics and behavior and all the things that go along with it to represent this university are at the top of the list of the successor. So, this hard thing was a second go-round for me. I had a procedure when I was in Tampa, whatever that was, 2013, that I had 5 blockages and had a couple stents put in. And so when you go around the second time and you realize you're not 30 years old anymore, which is hard for me to believe until I walk by the mirror and then I realize that I'm not. It's just been a great ride. I'm going to miss the kids and the staff the most, because that's really what it's all about, is the players. So with that, answer any questions you may have.
Who has the first question for a coach?
Coach, you keep saying stepping down. Just to confirm, are you retiring or taking a leave of absence?
No, I am resigning as the head coach. I am not retiring. I think that has more to do with like your age and PERS and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. But I am resigning as the head football coach.
So there is a chance that you could coach again someday in the future?
I would seriously doubt that. This isn't about anything else but health. And this isn't about last season. This isn't about not having support. It's about it. There is no hidden agenda here. I promise you that. There is no hidden agenda whatsoever. This is solely to do with health. I'm going to have this procedure done in January, and then I'm going to take time to recoup and still be associated with the university and do my part in giving back and do whatever I can to help the university, the athletic department, continue to be a part of the community. But it doesn't change. The stresses and the anxiety of this job doesn't change. And I've been counseled that those really aren't good combinations. And so it took a lot of soul searching to do this, because I know what that team room looks like in there. I know what this coaching staff's all about. I know what this university is all about. And if there was one thing that just kept sticking in my mind was we need to redeem ourselves for this year. And I feel really confident that's going to happen. But I'm not sure with my health that that's in my best interest. And I did not want to experiment and take that chance with my health. And also I felt like I have too much respect for this university to put them in that position of going down that road. And so felt like it was best to make this decision. You know, to have the chance to spend some family time with my wife, and you know, because this is a very selfish profession. Been doing this a long, long time, and it's 24/7, 365 days a year, and she deserves, for me, for some quality time. And so not only my health, but some quality time with my family. Because sometimes even when I'm physically present, I'm not necessarily listening or well connected. There's a lot on my mind that is going on. So while I'm torn about this, really, I have a heavy heart about this. There are some positives that come out of it, and that's mainly to get healthy and to spend time with my family, some quality time with my family. You know, like I said, I've been doing this a long, long time, and I think it's time to put some priorities other places, and that's health and family.
What did the players say when you talked to them about this?
They didn't say anything. They gave me a hug and shook my hand, and you know, I think it's a little, probably caught them off guard a little bit. But that's why I was really disappointed with how this came out at 9 o'clock last night. I'm starting to. It was really, really important to me to do this the right way. And the right way to me is to let your staff know first and your players to know, and then do this. So I was very disappointed that somehow, some way, this got out last night. And just mainly because they deserve that respect to hear it from me first. And so I apologize to both groups this morning that didn't happen. And but we move on. And what I really wanted, the message I wanted to give them is everything's going to be fine. You know, they're going to be fine. There's a lot of talent in that room, and the future is bright. And for them to finish the semester strong academically, and to always reach for their full potential in whatever they do, and to continue to do it with class and integrity, and always uphold the pride and tradition of Bulldog football. And then if they stay together, which they should, the sky's the limit. I feel like the foundation here is very strong, and I feel like whoever takes this program over is going to be in a good position to lead the program to success.
Coach, why was it important to do this now, to make this announcement now with this time?
Well, this is a tough time of year, Paul. You know, there's a lot going on, and days matter. You know, there's a 14-day rule, you know, through the state that you have to go through a process, the interview process, and so on and so forth. And every day, every hour matters at this time of year, you know, because there's a lot of movement going on. And I thought about waiting until Monday and go through a recruiting weekend, but in my heart, I could not, number one, talk to the recruits with all honesty, and then turn around on Monday and call them and tell them something different that I told them this weekend. And with every day being so critical in the timing of this, these coaches and their families owed it to them to do it as soon as possible so that the 14-day period will start. And hopefully by December 20th, we'll know the new direction. Because the players are going to be fine. They're young, they're resilient, they're fine. But in this business, I'm not just responsible for myself. I'm responsible for coaches and their families and staff and support staff and their families and those type of things. And those are the things that weigh heaviest on you. And, or on me, at least. And so I felt like it was important to to do it as soon as possible. This week, we just played last Saturday, and after that, through the beginning of this week, I had consultation with doctors and so on and so forth, and talked about timing and things like that. And like I said, through those consultations and a lot of soul searching, came up with what we felt as a family, my wife and I and kids, was best. And like I said, I have too much respect for this program and this university to draw this out and experiment and do all that, and then, for whatever reason it doesn't go the way you plan it, to leave this university hanging in limbo would not be fair.
I know you know how much this community loves you and how proud people are to have you back here and to have had the success that you've had. But I'm curious what you're most proud of. Because when you came here 3 years ago, you didn't know what was going to happen. You had an idea. But what are you most proud of as far as the way the last 3 years have gone and what you've done here?
Well, it's some of the things I already mentioned. We've accomplished a lot on the field. We really have. I mean, 2 championship games, a league championship. Of course, this year didn't go as planned, but we learned a lot of lessons there and gained a lot of experience with youth. But I'm most proud really of not necessarily the field things, because those things are just part of the process. But I think the growth and development of these young people and their academic success has been awesome. And the way that they have conducted themselves, I can't tell you how many times on airplanes that we have traveled, and the flight attendants would come up to me and say, "Are you the head coach? And this is the most well-behaved team we've ever had. We do this all the time." I mean, a lot of those things. It's really the life lessons of these young people that is the biggest thing. The football stuff is a big part of it. There's no doubt about it. But to instill the pride and tradition of Bulldog football, to be reconnected with the community here, has been a great experience over the last 3 years with a lot of old friends, a lot of new friends. So that's been really enjoyable. And what I'm most proud of really is I think the balance that these kids have created. I'm proud of our coaching staff and the support staff and everyone who has to do with Bulldog football, because it is a huge endeavor to run a football program in so many areas. And way too many people for me to sit here and name, whether it be in academics, the medical, the recruiting. I mean, I could go on and on. Strength and conditioning. I mean, it's a big undertaking if you're going to do it right, to pay attention to the details of all the little things. And I felt like, or I feel proud that we've done that. I feel proud that we've had academic success, and we've had all our kids graduate. A high percentage of our kids graduate. And, so I feel like, one of President Castro's visions is to make sure that we combine academics and athletics. And I feel proud that I believe that we've done that. And when I say we, I mean all of us. I don't mean me, I mean all of us. I played a really critical role in that.
Time for a couple more questions.
Coach, I certainly wish you best of health, but if we could switch to what you talked about with running of the football program, kind of what are your ideas in the interim, or do you have any thoughts on that, and maybe possible replacements? I know it was.
Yeah, I don't know. That's up to Director Toomey, President Castro, and the leadership of this university and athletic department. Like I said, I know there'll be many qualified people who are interested in this. This program is very strong and very well respected throughout the country. So there won't be any shortage there. In the short term, I'm going to meet with the coaches today to talk about how we finish up this next couple of weeks as far as recruiting is concerned, because I think it's still important. The recruiting piece won't change as far as what our values are. And I feel very strong and confident that as the leadership here looks into who's going to be the successor, that the values that we have now are still going to be part of what this university is all about. And, so I'm going to be here to help guide. Ryan Grubb is going to be the interim head coach, and I will be here to help guide that. We're going to have a meeting today and put our heads together, on how to approach this next week and this weekend and so on and so forth. So I'll still be here. I'm not running out of town. And besides in January, I have to do this procedure early in January. But this is my alma mater. I'm committed to this place. So.
Coach, do you hope that the assistant coaches will continue on, or do they have the freedom to go out and look for other jobs? Obviously,
of course they have freedom to go out and look for other jobs. They have families and they have responsibilities, and so you totally understand that. But what I'm asking them to do is to keep coaching like you're going to be here, and because it's about the program, and take pride in the program, and that's the right thing to do. But on the other hand, like I said, there's a lot of movement at this time of year. It seems like every day there's new things going on, right? And so you can't fault someone if they feel like they can't wait for 14 days, and they have to do something, and they have another opportunity. You can't fault them for that, and I'll support them 100% with helping them. Helping them if they feel like that's the direction they need to go.
If you feel comfortable sharing, what is the procedure in January that you're going to undergo?
It's an ablation. Back in 13, I had stents put in with blockages. A couple of weeks ago, I felt I wasn't really sure what was going on. I didn't know if it was just a high level of anxiety or what was going on. But had some symptoms that I felt like weren't normal. And so after practice one day, I went over and thankfully for my cardiologist, he was able to slip me in the back door and sneak me around where it didn't turn into a circus. But he said, we need to take you over right now. So they put me under and they had to shock me twice to get my heart back in rhythm, because it was going from like 48 to 167 for no reason at all, sitting here just like we are right now. And so that's AFib, right? And I really didn't know what was causing it, or I just felt like it was anxiety, but it was something more than that. And so now I need to go have an ablation done, and it's gonna, from how I've been told, it's gonna help with that. It's not 100%. I think the percentages that it's successful are a lot higher than they were a few years ago. But I think a few years ago, my cardiologist told me it's 50-50, so, but now I think it's a little more 70-30 or whatever. I don't know how it's going to go. But I have trust in them, and going to the Mayo Clinic is where I went before, and I think they do an excellent job. So I really feel like I'll be in good hands.
Were the players aware of this at all?
No, I did it after practice one day. I felt it in the morning, but went to practice. After practice, I still was, made me a little nervous. Because once you have a cardiac event, it makes you a little nervous when you have something that you feel like is going on there. And so I went in that afternoon. But I didn't want to distract from the players. We still had 2 games to play. I did not want to become a distraction to our players whatsoever. So I did not inform them that that's what was going on.
Coach, are you going to be involved in the process to select your successor? Would you like to be part of that process? Have you been asked to be part of that process, or have you asked them?
I will be if, I'm going to stay on as a kind of an assistant to Terry. And, any advice, he's well equipped. He does a great job, so he's well equipped. But I'm here for the program, and whatever I can do to help the program, the university, I'm here to do that. And, so that's, I'm here as a resource, and I'm here to really help in any way I can. I'll just throw out a pitch for the new building. I really believe that facilities have to be addressed here. I think it's really, really important that happen. Because I believe we're falling behind a little bit in that race, but I think that in the near future, I think there's a lot of attraction to it, and this facility is not just for football, but for the entire athletic department, I think is really critical to address. And if I can help in that endeavor, I will be here to do so.
And what are your thoughts on the next coach having ties to yourself or this university versus starting over from scratch?
I think that's always an advantage. I don't think it's an absolute if you find the right person, with the right values and pedigree and things like that. But I do believe that someone who has understanding of the Valley and recruiting the Valley, and that's another thing that I think that we have focused on is trying to saturate the Valley and keep local players home and keep the flavor of the Valley here, and then appreciates the Valley in Fresno State. So I don't know that it's exclusive that you have to have that, but do I think that that's a positive? Yes, I would believe that that's a positive.
Unless
You got a guy right there.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, you're still a young guy, but when you lose members of the Bulldog family like Paul Schechter and Steve Savonia, does their loss weigh on your mind as you consider your own future?
Yes. Yes. You could throw Marvin Myers in there. You can throw that I had a player who's 30 years old that just got diagnosed with ALS just after getting married this summer, which is heartbreaking. Nothing's guaranteed in life. And, so yes, I think that's a great question. I think we all probably ask ourselves these questions, right? And like I said, I've been coaching for a long, long, long time. And I know one way to do it, and I'm wired one way, and it has been that way since I was a player. I've always been high-wired and stressful, and now it's to the point, as much as I love the kids and love this university, and have really always tried to put everything else first, I think, like I said, with consultation, it's, I don't want to necessarily sit around and think about, about some catastrophe happening, but I'm also wise enough to know that I'd like to take, I've worked all my life, and my wife and my sons, I sacrificed a lot. Now it's time to live.
At this time, we'll let Coach go, and we'll bring up Director of Athletics, Derek.
Okay, appreciate you all. Thank you very much.